On September 1st, 1939, the German army invaded Poland and World War II has begun. In this video I will recreate this event in LEGO. I've created 3 MOCs depicting the invasion. The first build includes these 3 minifigures, a German hair soldier, as well as a Polish soldier and a German officer. For those of you who are watching my videos for a long time now probably know this base of a MOC. I've always used this construction for my Minifig Monday builds. I think this works perfectly for showcasing minifigures in a small scenery. After roughly finishing the layout, I've decided to build a small fence. I've used a candle piece in combination with a lightsaber handle. After repeating the step a few more times, I finished the landscape and added the minifigures. After finishing the back, I've decided to build a small tree to round the whole scenery up. I've used a selection of bar pieces and added leaf pieces on the top of them. And here's the final version of the first of 3 MOCs. The German rifleman brings the captured Polish soldier to the German officer. The next MOC will include 2 of my custom-made tanks, like a Panzer I as well as a Panzer II. I've just prepared the frame for the next MOC and came up with this technique right here for the floor. And the next step is to build the underground for the tanks and then continue building the road. To make the groundwork a bit more interesting, I've decided to mix the plate and tile technique with the snot technique. Snot means studs not on top. This means that the studs of the bricks aren't on the top of the build. I've used a combination of these 2 techniques in my most recent MOC as well and decided to use it again. To make the road look a bit more interesting, I've used a combination of dark tan and medium nougat pieces. The masonry bricks add a nice texture to the road as well. After covering the whole surface with plates and tiles, it was time for all the details. I've used a lot of tiles, plates and wedge plates for the road. And to round the build up, I've made some trees using the same technique as in the first MOC. And here's the final version of the second MOC. You can see a Panzer I as well as a Panzer II driving down the road. If you want to build a Panzer II as well, you can buy the instructions for the model at rebrickable.com. You can find the link in the description down below. The third and final build will include a custom-made Sturzkampfbomber, also known as Stuka. But before I can start building the MOC, I have to build a Stuka, and I will show you this step by step now. First we have to unbox 4 different packages, 3 of them including the parts for the model. This white envelope includes 2 minifigures which are pretty useful for the Stuka. I've bought them from a guy on Instagram. The package also included 16 trench coats for completely free, but the main attraction are definitely these 2 pilots. These will be super useful for future MOCs, but I don't need them for this build. The first pilot is wearing a black jacket as well as blue trousers and black boots. The second pilot is wearing a brown leather jacket as well as dark tan trousers and black boots again. After unboxing the other 3 packages, I've sorted all the needed pieces first. The Stuka isn't designed by me, but I test built it because the designer only made it in digital version. Feel free to check Tiger131 at Instagram to see some epic digital models. I am also on Instagram, and if you want to see some extra content content, feel free to follow me there as well. Here you can see all the needed parts for the Stuka. Because he hasn't really made instructions yet, the building process was pretty difficult, but I made it. I've created some simple instructions and started building the bomb. Next I've built the tail, and I definitely can say Tiger 131 using some great building techniques. And here you can see the tail, which looks so clean. Well done, man. Next I've built the wing, which wasn't easy at all. After replicating this step one more time, I just had to build the body, but I didn't have more instructions for this, so this will be tough. But I was able to build the main body of the plane, so now the time has come where I can put everything together. Because the constructions didn't hold the wings in place, I had to modify it, but now everything works fine. And here's the final model. I can't wait to build a cool mock for it now. Speaking of this, I will build a position where 2 Polish soldiers are hiding. I've used some curved reddish brown pieces simulate dirt. After adding the final plate to the trench, it was time to add some tiles to the ground. I've just placed both Polish soldiers hiding in the trench. Now it's time to start building all the green area, and I've used some curved tiles because I want to place sandbags at the top of it. Because the look of all the plates is way too boring, I have to cover all of it by using wedge plates and tiles. To make the landscape look a bit more interesting, I've decided to raise it by using wedged plates and curved plates. To simulate dirt from the trench, I've placed some reddish brown and dark tan 1x1 plates next to it. And after adding one more layer of wedge plates and curved plates, I like the look of it. I've just placed this round transparent brick and these jumper plates in the back, and you will see in a second why I made this. But before you will see this, I will finish the landscape real quick. After placing a lot of wedge plates and 1x4 tiles, it was time to fill in all the smaller gaps by using some smaller pieces like 1x2 tiles plates and 1x1 tiles and plates. And to round everything up, I've added some finer details like rounded 2x2 plates and 1x1 studs. You probably wonder where I want to place the Stuka. As this is a plane, I've decided to not place it on the ground. I've created a construction by using 1x1 transparent cylinder pieces as well as flex tubes to attach them to the Stuka. I've used the transparent minifigure positioning pieces at the top of it, and this allowed me to place the Stuka in an angle. After attaching everything to the final place, it was time to add the plane to the mock. To hold everything in place, I had to add the third construction of these transparent pieces. To create some contrast, I've added some dark green leaf pieces to the ground of the mock. As you can see, the next bomb of the Stuka is already in charge. And the situation of both Polish soldiers is hopeless. Let's not forget this crucial war. If you want to see more historical events in LEGO, feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.